Hey guys, I think we are up to vlog 53, and in South Australia we are on lockdown this weekend. So I can't go camping, so I might as well work on my camper. I bought this little hot trailer thing a little while ago because we always base camp with caravans, and I want to start doing some trips where I can take swagger or whatever. I want to keep going. I don't want to base camp, and I can't do that with a van. I think my car's already at its limit weight-wise, so the trailer was the idea. Now, to make this, I'm going to pimp this up and make this the simplest possible, or as light as possible, touring system, because I just want to hitch up and go. On the last trip I did, Wobble had one of these things. It's an induction cooktop, and he just flipped it out at lunchtime, turned it on, cooked his steak or kebabs or whatever it was, and off he went. I was instantly impressed on how simple he got everything out, cooked it, ate, put it away, and on. There's no gas bottles, no stuffing around. It was instant, and I kind of said, I got to get myself one of these. The good and the bad though is this thing is 2,000, up to 2,000 watts. So as I love to make my life as difficult as possible, I've got to work out a way to power that thing up when out on the tracks. So obviously it has to be battery, lithium, inverter. I've got to work out cable sizes, all sorts. Let's do some quick maths here. Hey, 2,000 watts divided by, I'm going to say my lithium sort of nominal voltage is 12.8 when it's under load. It's 156 amps. I'm going to need some cable that's going to carry that sort of load. All right, so I found this website called JCalc. You basically go through and you type in everything you need. So I just rounded it to 150 amps, fill in everything else, and then it tells you what cable size you need. And for me, I need, on the right hand side you can see here, 50 millimeter squared cable. Let's see what's in stock. All right, just dug this out. We've got a couple of rolls of big stuff here. BNS 26, that's not really going to cut it. But if I double that up maybe, run two of these together, that will deliver my 150 amps. Have you been following? I was going to make this like off-grid container. I went and bought all the stuff for it, but never ended up finishing it because it was going to be an office, and we ended up going to Eddie and getting a whole new, premises. So I've got some stuff left over. I've got a 200 amp lithium DCS battery. There's a Victron 3 kilowatt inverter, and some other like connective stuff that I bought, circuit breakers, all that sort of thing. So I might actually be able to pull this off without leaving the house. Okay, at the front of this little camper, there's this little luggage box, all dust sealed, watertight, lockable. I think that's, if I can get it all in there, that's the place to put it. And this is the gear I've got, and I've dug it all out. So we've got, big battery, 200 amp hour DCS. That's got an app with it, which I love. The Multi Plus Victron app as well. So this is a 3 kilowatt inverter, but it's also got like a 12 volt battery charger built in. So I can plug it into the wall and charge it up if I am at home or at a campsite, and it'll charge that way. Or I've got this solar controller, 50 amp Victron, totally not sponsored by the way, we bought all this stuff. Solar controller, I love the Victron gear because of the apps. And now we're getting into some serious power. I think I need some protection, so I've got this and a few other little isolators around the place. What I don't have though is some big fuses for the battery. I have to think about that. Okay, so I've got something to bolt all this to. I've templated out some cardboard bits that fit perfectly in here. Now I have to go raid my stock of timber around the place and see if I can find some timber to make a false floor in here, and then everything will bolt to that. Found some timber laying around. It's not perfect, but it's going to have to do because I can't go to the shop. Bit of jigsaw action. Who says I can't make false floors? There we go. I have to carpet it later. I don't have any carpet. I reckon that bottom piece I might have to cut in halves to get it through the hole, but let's have a look. All right, let's have a look. Oh, we're in. That's one bit. And perfect. That'll work. Done a bit of a mock-up here because this is how I think it's going to work. I've put rubber mat under between the components and the MDF, and getting everything as close as possible, knowing that cable length is going to be critical here. So DCS battery, we've got the positive terminal straight here. That's going to go in straight there. Can't really get much shorter than that. And then all the AC stuff is going to be on the left, and all the DC stuff will be on the right. So I can come and power up. I'm going to run like instead of having a GPO outlet here, I'm actually going to have a bound up power cord coming straight out of the circuit breaker, and then I can do whatever I want. If I want that little table on this side or on the other side, or say I want to run electric blanket up to the tent, I can come straight out of here and put the power where I want and be flexible, opposed to hard wiring in, you know, a power point here and when I don't actually know what I want yet. On the other side, DC side, again, I haven't worked out exactly what I want, but I know I've got the solar controller up the back, and then I'll have an Anderson so I can plug in my sandwich board solar panel here, then over to a circuit breaker and a bit of a sort of a fuse block here to go and put power to what I don't know what I want power for yet. But this means all 100% of the electrical is going to stay in this box for now. Nothing is going to be run anywhere else. So this is going to get cut short. The rain's coming in, I reckon. We're getting there though. Oh, this is the bit where I probably should say you need to be a licensed electrician to play with 240 volts and high power DC, to be honest. Guess I was right. It's coming down. You can't see it. That's hail. Holy moly. I got out just in time. It pretty much rained all day yesterday, so now it's Sunday, less wind around, so better for videoing, and we'll finish this job off. Hey, next to get some big DC cables terminated. Alright, it's time to do the 12 volt part. This is the bit I like. We're going to terminate a few of these cables. I'll show you how I personally do this. I'm sure there's a dozen ways to do it, but this is the way I do it. First I want to strip this. Like, I could use my pliers just to cut this, but you don't get a nice edge, so I run my knife around it. And then if I do it right, it should all just peel off nicely like that. About 1 centimetre of copper showing. And so when I put the terminal on, I always twist them first, by the way, otherwise they can come out. There should be lots of copper inside here, but it'll be, I don't want to show any copper on this side. Then I'll put some heat shrink over the top. So something like this, just make sure it fits over the lug first. Don't want to make that mistake. Yep, that in half, I reckon. Again, I could cut these with my pliers, but you don't get a nice edge, and you really notice it when you go to do the heat shrink later on. So I'll put that over like so. Make sure this is twisted. Terminal goes on, and then we crimp it. Now, I've borrowed these big Mad Machine from Steve Allen. Oh, I dropped my crimp. And the way this works, I've done another video on soldering these, and so many people got upset, I thought I better show you how we crimp them as well. I'll do it twice. And the second time. That's not going anywhere. All right, that's the crimp. Heat shrink goes over the top, hopefully. And I always go just past the hole, because when it shrinks back, it comes back nice and evenly, and then it's protected as much as possible. All right, do the heat shrink, and I swear this is the most enjoyable part of the whole job. Okay, so I always do the edges first. So I'll get that edge, bottom edge, because you get that looking good, and then all the middle. How satisfying is that? All right, that's how I terminate big cables. Now to do it another 7 times. Progress photo before I put the cover on here. It's all looking pretty serious. Coming together. All done. Took a bit longer than I thought, to be honest. Terminating cables seems like it shouldn't be difficult, but it takes a long time to do it all the right length, the right place, cable tie them off, that sort of thing. But I'll show you how it all finished up. Here we are. So these DCS batteries have got a 2 poles to come in. So I've got top and bottom power, negative on the other side. Same with the inverter, that's got 2 poles. So running the 2 cables actually worked out ideal. So the power comes through into the isolator, that turns on, which powers up this circuit here. Didn't have to use an isolator here because there's one there as well, or a breaker, and that will be for a second circuit later on when I know what I'm doing. And of course that's to charge it all up. But besides this bit, I don't know how that's supposed to like stay and look nice and neat, but besides that, I'm pretty happy with the whole install. I'm going to flick over to the DCS app here. Excuse my pump running in the background. Let's see. Alright, so we're starting this test off at 98% and the inverter idling at 2.2 amps. It wouldn't be an induction cooking video unless we did some cooking, hey? And we want to test this system out to see what it does. Right, we'll power this up. It's on 2000 watts. I'll put it on maximum sear, so we're going to crank this. And this is a scan pan. I hope this type of pot works with this induction thing. We'll soon find out. This is a 2 litre pot with about a litre's worth of water in it. All right, you know, we're going to test it because that's what YouTubers do. Let's press start and we'll do the timer here at the same time. All right, we're going to be a few seconds late with the timer. All right, here we go. Start. How long does it take to boil water? The whole induction cooking concept thing is pretty new to me until I saw Wobble do it. But, you know, this has been on for 2 minutes now. I can touch the hot plate. It's not hot at all. But if I touch the water, the saucepan, actually the saucepan's heating up quite rapidly. So it's don't ask me the science how it works, but it works through induction. Go back to the DCS app, just refresh that. Have a look at what's happening now. So it's pulling 140 amps. I was, targeting 150, so I wasn't far off the mark. Nominal voltage is lower than expected. I was hoping around 12.8, but still alright. It's running at 97%. We started the test at 98, so we'll see how much percentage this knocks out of the DCS battery if I want to boil a litre of water. I didn't realise this, but I actually had on medium-high. There is high and max here. I'll show you what's happening in the DCS app as I press each button. Alright, chugging along at 140, that's on medium-high. Still using the 2000 watt mode. Put it on high. Now she's bumped up to 160. Alright, now put it on max. Obviously you wouldn't need to do this unless you absolutely were in a rush. But yeah, now it's starting to pull some current. I don't want it to sit on the max, so I'm just going to leave it on medium-high because I know we plan for this system to draw about 150 amps. And it is windy, I tell you. Alright, coming up on 6 minutes and close. Take the lid off. Yep. I'm going to call that boiling. Alright, for the record, what did that take out of our DCS battery? I'll just refresh it just to make sure we are 100% accurate here. 90%. So knocked out 8% to boil water. let's keep it running for a bit, and I don't know, I might just, you know, challenge the system a bit. On we go, back on medium, and I might just, as if I was cooking pasta, I'll just let this run for, I don't know, 8 minutes. So, as it's boiling so furiously here, I was able to turn it down. So I've now dropped the temperature, it's hard to see there, but I've dropped it down to 120 degrees. And the wattage I've dropped back to 900 watts, and it's just ticking along, simmering quite nicely. What that's done to the amps though, yeah, it's just bumbling along at 77 amps or so now. So that's nowhere near as taxing, and I think it would happily do that for quite some time. So I actually bought 2 of these induction cookers because I thought while I'm cooking pasta I could heat up some sauce or cook something else on the other side too. So if I got one hot, then I could get the other one hot, drop them back to 900 watts, and they would simmer along nicely together in the wind. And the way this is positioned with the rooftop tent, sorry again about the wind, the tent comes over this way, and there's so you've either got a veranda, or I bought the room that goes around it too, so you can actually have quite a pleasant little cooking station or kitchen in here, even if it was bad weather. Alright, I reckon that's been, yeah, 8 minutes. Let's turn this off, and we'll see. Here we go, clear. I'm still learning this thing. Let's see what that's taken out of the battery. Okay, we're back into the DCS app. 85 to 98. So 85, 95, 13%. That's nothing. That's nothing. Although we'll pull in some big current, like that's just not really that big a deal. Yeah, totally plausible option here. The next test, I'm going to plug it into power. I might even set it up. We might even simulate camping, even though we're in lockdown. And I'll set it all up and plug it in as if we're in at a caravan park and see what the charging rate's like. All right, just charge. Wow. No. It's pumped, like when you plug into 240, this Multiplus is charging at 91 amps. So I could actually, if I was plugged in, I'd be kind of neutral. I'm going to go turn that little stove on again. So I'm walking back around there. Start. I'll put it on 900 watts again. Medium high. So now we're inverting and charging at the same time. But the current didn't change. It's still, like it's charging the battery and taking the load at the same time. No. Alright, I'm going to put on 2000 watts. So we're really cranking it. Okay, it's working. And it's still charging at 90 amps. Alright, I'm going to put on maximum. So we're maximum sear. Like, I'm pulling everything I can out of this now. Have a look at that. It is still charging the battery. So it must just go straight through. Alright, as you can see, water is boiling. I didn't expect this, to be honest. I thought it would be like when you've got your car. But no, obviously when you're plugged into power, the power goes straight through to whatever you're using and cooking, etc. And it can charge the battery at the same time. Like, this is absolute winner now. I was happy before, now I'm over the moon. That'll charge my battery 90 amps. Like, that'll be charged up in half an hour less. Massive winner, huge winner, over the moon. Like, I'm wondering if I even need a DC-DC charger. Just a bit of solar. I don't know, I have to think about that. I'm so happy. I'm gonna set this thing up. I love this thing. This pod trailer, it's so cool. Right, the video's over, but if you want a bit of bonus footage and see this new camper that I'm setting up, doing a bit of camping tonight, I'll give you a very quick tour. It's going to be windy. We're going to sleep out here tonight. This is a test because we haven't taken the whole family in this yet. But this is rooftop tent. It's 1800, so I could fit 3 people up there if I needed to. But what I wanted to work out is if it was big enough on the floor to have a bit of living space, or even maybe if Sharon and I take this away, the kids could sleep on their stretchers under here, which is totally plausible. Be a bit of shuffling around, but there's plenty of space. The thing I'm a bit curious is about the tie down points. I think in wind like this, it could actually do with a few more tie down points just on the bottom tent part. But we do have the 270 awning that goes around this side. I haven't opened it up today because I don't need to, but that would be, we've used that on the car and put swags under it. That would be perfectly fine. So we could, you know, sleep the kids on this side if we wanted to. Next is working out what we're going to do in here with the rest of the 12 volt system. As always, thanks for watching this video. If you've got to this point, can you please go and give us a like? I've learned recently that the likes actually do amazing things for the video and the channel. So please go and hit that like button, and I know you're subscribed already. Thanks for watching. Yeah.